Hey guys, it's Devin here with another how-to drum set video. Today we're going to be looking at tuning our snare drum. Now if you haven't seen the other videos in this series, take a look at those. We're going over how to tear down and how to set up our drum set and basically how to deal with this big thing we have to lug around. Here's our snare drum, and you might notice we're missing something very important. We need to put the head on. Now I'm using reused heads because they aren't ready to go yet, but you should be using new ones. With the head on, now we need to add on our hardware. We're going to make sure that all of these lugs line up, and we're just going to finger tighten. Something that's very important is we want to make sure that when we're tightening with just the finger tight, and when we use the drum key as well, we want to go opposite from each other so that we don't put too much tension on one side or the other. So I'm going to go, if my left hand is over here, I'm going to go directly across the drum and find the lug over here with my right hand. So they're opposite, and I'm going to try to finger tighten those at the same rate so that it's very even. And I'm just going to go around and do that for all of these lugs, and just to the point that you can't tighten it anymore with your fingers. Now we're going to bring out the drum key. Using a pencil, I've written numbers so that we can see. We use the same technique where we go across. So the first one, we're going to go all the way across the drum to 2. Then we go into the middle on the opposite side, 3 to 4, 5 to 6, and 7 to 8. Now we don't want to do too much. To start it out, we're going to give it just about a half turn. And again, we're going all the way across. So 3 goes to 4 across, 5 to 6, and 7 to 8. To check our work, we're going to put some weight down in the middle, and we're going to tap around each lug and make sure they have the same sound. Now you can hear I still need to tighten this one a little bit, and I'm going to do that with the same technique. It sounds like it needs quite a bit more, so I'm going to do another half turn. But every snare is going to be different, and sometimes newer heads don't need as much. So again, going at the front, do another about half turn, another half turn, and we're just going to do the same thing we did, and we're going to test it in the same way until we get a sound that we like. And if you go too far to the point that it's too tight, you can do the same exact technique to loosen it. Now we're going to use the same technique to test it. Hopefully it's a little bit tighter. Now you can hear they all sound pretty similar. And the last thing that we need on this is a little bit of weight. Now you might see some drummers put some tape on it, or there's stuff called moon gel that you can buy at your local guitar shop or whatever you like, something to put weight on. I'm just going to use my wallet, for example, and this is a good thing that you can do in a pinch if you're playing a gig and you need to put some weight on your snare drum. Throw your wallet up there, and now it's ready to go. The last thing we need to look at is the bottom head. We want the bottom head to be extremely tight, and I've already done that off camera, but you use the same technique you used on the front, and you can test it the same way. And a good test, you could also feel it, and you want to make sure it's good and firm. We shouldn't be able to push it down. Now that we have our snare drum ready, some weight on the head, a cranked bottom head, and the top is at a good level that we like the sound of it, we're ready to go. And the last thing we could think about, if you remember, we have this clutch over here that decides how far up or down our snare goes. So when it's engaged, and this is per preference, you might want it tighter, you might want it looser, it depends. Tighter is going to get you a funkier sound, and when you have it loose, it gets you a little bit more of a gushy kind of rock sound.